Hello everybody, this is Quick Script Creations bringing you another video. Today I had the idea to do something fun and to sort of speculate or at least create a wish list of all the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World figures that I would like to see Mattel make in the future. This list is going to be comprised of everything from dinosaurs to human figures to vehicles and even play sets. Without further ado, let's start the list off with my number 10 selection. First up is none other than the Ford Explorer as seen in the first film. This is the iconic vehicle that all the characters ride in to take their tour of the park. And, you know, we've only had one of these ever made, and that was back in 1993, and even then, it was missing a lot of the, details. It wasn't a bad representation, but I feel like if a remake of this vehicle was done today, that Mattel could do such a better job on it. And, we also need a new one to, that's correctly scaled with the smaller figures, because back then, those figures were a lot bigger, and the newer ones don't fit in that old style vehicle, so I would just love if they did a Legacy Collection remake of this vehicle. I think all the fans would agree with me that we really need a new version of, that iconic vehicle that we all know and love. And I just think Mattel really needs to make one. Next up, I believe we need a new Dennis Nedry figure. Dennis Nedry is one of the more popular characters, side characters, I guess you could say, in the film. You love him, you hate him. He, has a lot of iconic looks, including the look with the yellow raincoat, which he's wearing, right before he gets killed by the Dilophosaurus. The only Nedry figures we've ever had were back in the original Kenner line, and even then the likeness of the character wasn't quite there. I feel like Mattel could do a lot better job on appropriately capturing the likeness of the actor and, putting him in a uniform that's actually accurate to something that he wore in the film, such as the yellow raincoat. They could even go as far as to have it, splattered with some mud or something like that. And another idea I had was to have sort of a multi-pack slash playset where you could include the Jeep Wrangler, the new Nedry figure that I just proposed, and then also one of the new Dilophosaurus figures. And they could box that set as sort of like a diorama in case you're one of the collectors who like to keep everything in the box. It'd be great to display. It'd be great to take out of the box and play with or take pictures with, or just they could make the figure itself and I'd be, equally as happy. But I definitely think we need a new version of Dennis Nedry. So the next item on my wish list is the Raptor Pen playset. Now, this would, of course, be based off of the Raptor Pen that we see in the first film. You might remember the cow being lowered into, the bushes, and then all of a sudden you just hear all the noises and the chaos. And when they retrieve the crane, there's nothing left of the cow, of course. I think this could be a really cool playset. It'd be a really cool way to display your Raptor figures. They could also, bundle this with a Muldoon figure, like the one we've already received this year. Or, have it maybe even come with a brand new character, like a Jurassic Park staff member, or just like a dinosaur trainer, or someone, in the Jurassic Park uniform, but that's just sort of, a nameless figure, if you will. But this could be a really cool set. They could have, some sort of play feature where maybe they can incorporate something with the cow, or, have an opening gate in the front so you could sort of recreate that scene from the beginning of the film where, they're trying to transport the raptor. It could even come with a giant crate that could house, one or two raptors inside of it. I really think the possibilities are endless with this one. They could really, do something cool and unique and interesting with it. Fans would love it. Kids would love to play with it. Collectors that grew up with these films would love to get their hands on something like this. And it would just be a really cool display piece overall. And, maybe it's one of those more outlandish ideas that I mentioned that might not work so well in reality, but I honestly think they could make it work, and I would be really ecstatic if they managed to actually make this. Now, next up is kind of an odd choice, but I decided to go with Gennaro from the first film, and that's the lawyer, that gets attacked in the bathroom when he tries to run away from the T-Rex encounter. Now, it'd be okay if they released this figure just by his own self, but I came up with this idea where they could, sort of package several figures together, like what they did with the Hunt for the Indominus Rex submarine set. And it would be really cool if we got, like a, what is it called? The Extreme Chomping T-Rex, and then they could bundle it with, the Gennaro figure. And then they could even include like a little miniature play set, such as a bathroom stall, with the Jurassic Park theme, and have sort of like a breakaway wall or something where the T-Rex can smash through and grab the figure hiding inside. I just really want to see, more cool and unique ideas like this made, and I think they're on the right track with the Hunt for the Indominus Rex set, and I really hope they kind of continue that. And next up on my list is none other than the man himself, John Hammond. I think ever since the first Jurassic Park line, fans have been wanting a John Hammond figure. I've even seen people go as far as to try and recreate custom John Hammond figures using the one of the original Alan Grant figures with the white shirt, and they sort of like tried to mold a bigger body on him to make him look fatter, I guess. But all the fans, myself included, we really want to see a John Hammond figure. I feel like it would just complete our collections. It's one of the most popular characters in Jurassic Park, and we still have yet to receive a proper action figure of him. And of course, this would probably be part of the Legacy Collection, or they could really do anything they wanted with this. They could include him in some sort of multi-pack, maybe have him come with, a Tim and Lex figure, or really anything they want. I just think fans would be really happy if they were able to actually finally get their hands on this figure, and that he could even include some of his accessories like the cane or removable hat or just anything. I think fans would really love to have this as part of their collection, and I think Mattel would really be missing out on a great opportunity to fulfill a lot of fans' requests. Next up is another vehicle that's also a personal favorite of mine, and that's the Mercedes-Benz M-Class, I believe it's called. This was, of course, one of the vehicles featured in the film The Lost World. The only ever incarnation we've had of this vehicle was in a remote control format, and there was also a model kit that they came out with, but we've never actually had a proper version of this vehicle made for the action figures themselves, and I think this is another missed opportunity that Mattel could take advantage of. This is such a cool car. It fits right in with the whole Jurassic Park / Jurassic World, sort of aesthetics and theme. It's got the camo going on. You could have the working winch on the front, just like the Jeep Wrangler that came out recently has. They could even have like a battle damage feature where you can lift the hood of the car off and then, recreate that scene where Eddie Carr is being attacked by the two Tyrannosaurus Rexes. And to make things even better, they could even include this vehicle with an Eddie Carr figure. I think that would be awesome and just raise the cool factor, and they could even get a lot of fans excited with this vehicle, and I know I'd be the first in line to buy it. I would love to have it and include it, display it alongside the Jeep Wranglers that we already have. And yeah, I really hope that we get one of these in the future. Next is yet another playset, and my idea was either to have a Jurassic World Main Street set or the interior of the visitor center, and more specifically that, main entrance where you have the T-Rex skeleton and the two spiraling staircases going up either side. I think either of these sets would be really cool. Of course, they couldn't do like a full-scale version of them. It would have to be, sort of just focused on, like, if you did the Main Street of The Lost World, maybe it would focus just on, the skeleton part, and maybe like a few gift shop, like, storefronts or something, and then they could do like some battle damage or include a few figures with it or whatever. Or if they went with the visitor center one, they could also have the T-Rex skeleton and maybe have a battle damage feature where, like, if breaks apart and you can reassemble it, or include a couple of raptors or something. They could really do anything they wanted with it. I think fans would appreciate it regardless, no matter what they did. And it was just kind of an idea that was floating in my head that I think would be really cool, and it would also be another cool way to display some of your figures. And I really don't mind which one we got. I just think it'd be cool if we got, you know, something similar to either of these two ideas, and I think it could be a lot of fun. So up next is the Parasaur. Our first glimpse of this dinosaur in the films was that wide shot in the first film where we see the Brachiosauruses grazing in the water, and you see all the Parasaurs in the background herding. And this dinosaur is just really, really iconic in this series. We also got a glimpse of it in The Lost World as well, and I can't remember off the top of my head if it was in Jurassic World, but I'm not sure. I thought it was in one shot, but I can't quite remember. But we've only ever had one toy of this, and it was okay. I think that Mattel could do a much better job on it. They could do it either in the Legacy Collection line or just make a version of it in the main line. I would be happy either way. It's really, you know, such an easy thing that they could produce, and a lot of fans would love it. It's probably, you know, a lot of fans' favorite herbivore, or at least the one that, you know, they would appreciate being able to include in their collection. I know I would like to have it. I still don't own the Lost World one, and I'm really holding out hoping that Mattel makes a better version of it. And I think they could really do a great job. We've already seen them do, you know, amazing work with some of the other figures, and we know we're getting a Brachiosaurus soon, which I'm super excited for. And, you know, what better way to display your Brachiosaurus than alongside some Parasaurs? And I think, you know, this figure is in desperate need of a remake, and I really hope that they actually create one in the future. Next up is a figure that might seem like a little bit of a strange choice, but I'll go ahead and explain myself, and that is the Giga. Now, this dinosaur has actually gained a lot of popularity in recent years. It was showcased in both the Ark Survival Evolved game, and then it was also just recently featured in the Jurassic World Evolution game. And I think this dinosaur is really awesome. It's basically like a T-Rex, but some people argue that it's even bigger than a T-Rex, or at least longer than it. And the head on the dinosaur, the Giga, I feel like it is unique enough where they could still make this figure and then have people not confuse it for a T-Rex. I would personally love to have another large carnivore to include in our collection, because as of right now, the only ones we really have are the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus, so it'd be great to have another one. And I also think it's cool to include a dinosaur which was only known from a video game. And we already know next year that Mattel is making a Albertosaurus, which if you ever played Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, then I'm sure you're familiar with that dinosaur. And it'd be really cool if Mattel continued to create more dinosaurs that weren't, you know, just the ones we saw in the films, but ones that we're all familiar with from, you know, the expanded universe of Jurassic Park, you know, film or stories and comics and things like that. And I think this would make a really great addition. It'd be really awesome if they announced this as, you know, one of their upcoming figures. And I know I would love to pick one up, and I think a lot of other people would also enjoy, you know, getting their hands on another large carnivore type dinosaur. And last on the list is none other than the Indominus Rex. We desperately need another Indominus Rex figure. The one made by Hasbro a few years ago was average at best, and I think Mattel has already shown that they're far more capable than Hasbro. And just from the figures they've released so far, I'm more than confident that Mattel could make an awesome Indominus Rex figure. And I've been holding out on purchasing the Hasbro one because I'm really hoping that Mattel does create one very soon, because I really want to get my hands on one, and I think they could just do, you know, an outstanding job on it. We all love the Indominus Rex. Some people, you know, argue, oh, it's not a real dinosaur, but it's still a large part of the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World history. It plays an important part in the story, and I think we deserve to get, you know, a true accurate and just, you know, impressive figure based on the Indominus Rex, and they could definitely do it, and I would definitely be purchasing this figure the moment that it was available. Anyways guys, that about does it for this video. I figured I would do something sort of fun and different with this speculation type video, and I think it's really interesting, you know, to think about all the different things that Mattel has yet to announce, and it seems like every day there's new screenshots and things coming up around the internet revealing new figures. So we really don't know how long Mattel is going to continue to, you know, make these figures. Is it going to be all the way until, you know, Jurassic World 3? Or, you know, is Hasbro going to get the license back, or someone else going to get the license? We really don't know. But just judging, you know, by how popular these figures have been so far, I think it's safe to assume that Mattel, you know, is going to continue to make these things as long as people will continue to buy them. And I really can't wait to see, you know, what they have in store for us in the coming years. But anyways, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching my videos and subscribing and liking them. There's a lot more to come. I'm still planning the next Jurassic Frontier video, but I'm waiting on a couple things to arrive in the mail before I can actually, you know, continue filming that one. So in the meantime, you'll probably see, you know, more toy videos like this. So hopefully, you know, you guys enjoy this type of content, and look forward to more toy films in the future. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.